Good evening, everyone. My name is Jasmine Gartley, and today I will be talking about why there should be an awareness day for childhood obesity. Obesity is a chronic disease affecting an increasing number of children, teens, and adults. Body mass index, also known as your BMI, is an indirect measure of obesity based on the measurements of a child's height and weight. Now, a child is defined as overweight if their BMI for their age percentile is greater than 85% but less than 95%. Since 1970, the number of children and adolescents who are affected by obesity has tripled. In the United States, 13.7 million children and adolescents are considered obese and are currently affected by obesity. What this means is 1 in 5 children are obese, which means you more than likely know someone or know a child who is considered obese. Obesity prevalence is 13.9% among 2 to 5-year-olds, 18.4% among 6 to 11-year-olds, and 20.6% among 12 to 19-year-olds. Childhood obesity is also more common among certain populations. 25% of Hispanic children were obese, while only 22% of African American children were considered obese. Both of these numbers are way higher than that of white children, which is only 14.1%. This is a huge problem because childhood obesity is known to have a significant impact on a child's psychological and physical health. The health risks that are associated with childhood obesity are type 2 diabetes, which is a condition in which your body doesn't metabolize glucose properly. Diabetes can lead to eye disease, nerve damage, and kidney dysfunction in children and adults. High cholesterol and high blood pressure raises the risk of future heart diseases in obese children. Another risk factor is asthma, which is chronic inflammation of the lung airways. Obesity is most commonly seen in relation to asthma. This means that if a child is obese, they more than likely will have asthma as well. Kids and teens who are obese may also suffer from sleep disorders such as excessive snoring and sleep apnea. The extra weight in the neck area can block their airways, making it harder for them to breathe while sleeping. Obese children may also experience joint stiffness, pain, limited range of motion due to them carrying the extra weight on their bodies. All of this can be changed with healthy habits. Children who are considered obese are likely to stay obese into adulthood and more likely to develop non-communicable diseases like diabetes and cardiovascular diseases at a younger age. And many factors contribute to childhood obesity, including a child's genetics, their metabolism, which is how fast their body changes food and oxygen into energy that they can use, eating and physical activity behaviors, community and the neighborhood they live in and whether or not it's safe, the amount of time that they sleep, and any negative childhood events. All of these risk factors fall into 3 categories: environmental risks, lifestyle preferences, and cultural environment, which all play a pivotal role in the rising prevalence of childhood obesity worldwide. In developing countries, obesity has reached epidemic levels, and the number of people who are affected by it in developed countries is on the rise. Studies have shown that the best way to approach childhood obesity would be a comprehension approach, which would mean that we would address nutrition and physical activities not only in schools but also at home. We would make sure that parents, caregivers, teachers, and community members are all involved in this approach. which would aim to support the health and the well-being of all children. The world needs a day to raise awareness on childhood obesity. There needs to be a day where we talk about the effects that it has on our children and adolescents. Childhood obesity is troubling because it often leads children on the path to health problems that were once considered only adult problems, like diabetes, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. There was a time when we only saw these diseases in adults, and now we're seeing them in children. Since chronic illnesses have an earlier onset and a prolonged course in obese children, they may go undiagnosed until adulthood, resulting in complications that lead to them having a shorter life. Now, children as young as 5 are being diagnosed with serious health conditions that could be avoided if the proper measures were taken. People need to be aware of the dangers of childhood obesity, which is why I am advocating for September 1st to be National Childhood Obesity Day. Changing the eating habits of obese children is absolutely essential. Parental influences shapes a child's eating patterns. Most kids eat what their parents buy, so healthy eating needs to start with the parents. Children are less equipped to make informed choices about what is healthy and what's not, which is why it is the parent's role to make sure that the child is eating healthy. Therefore, on this day, we would encourage children and their parents to start practice healthy eating habits. We would give recipes for healthy snacks that children would enjoy that aren't chips and candy, and give parents healthy meal recipes that they can cook for their families for dinner. This day would be all about encouraging healthy habits. We'd encourage parents to increase their child's physical activity and to cut down on screen time. The way that they would do this is by not exercising, but by doing activities such as walking, bike riding, or even allowing their child some playground time to get their child up and active. Our focus would be encouraging the parents to make healthy choices that would not only benefit their child, but also benefit them as well. We use this day to make sure that parents are aware of the risk factors, the consequences, and the prevention methods for childhood obesity. Our society has made physical activity for children non-existent, and low nutrients food and beverages more affordable, accessible, and more appealing than healthier options. By having National Childhood Obesity Day, we'll be making sure that every parent is aware of just how dangerous it is. We would also ensure children are practicing healthy eating habits. We would improve their physical activity level, thus reducing the risk of obesity and increasing a child's life expectancy.